Hey guys, it's Charlie. It's February 5th, Friday. Sorry I haven't been able to make a video this week. I've had some messages from some of you guys asking me what's going on, and it's been a very hectic week with my family and with work, so I haven't had a lot of free time to put together a video. So I'm actually in a hotel room tonight. I'm working through the weekend, and but I wanted to put a video out about the unemployment report that came out, and I also wanted to put a video out thanking everybody who's tuned in and listened to me on Freedomizer radio on Saturday nights from 7 to 9 o'clock East. It's the program I'm on is the Lion's Den with Eric Lovely, and he usually has me on Fridays to do a guest spot, and it's been really great because a lot of you guys will call in and I get a chance to talk to you face to face. So, you know, if you can, tomorrow night, Saturday, join us on Freedomizer Radio, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock East Coast time. I'll put the link in the sidebar. You know, the weekly unemployment claims report came out yesterday, and in that report it showed a surprising decrease. Now, you know, I'm not even going to state the obvious, which is they adjusted that number down from how many people really applied. They seasonally adjusted it down. All right, with that said, last week they seasonally adjusted it up, and it was the first time I had seen that report be printed where it had an adjustment to the upside. So whatever the case may be, first-time claims were down by 30-some thousand. But, you know, when you consider the fact that we're still sitting at 400,000+ people every week filing for first-time unemployment claims, it's beyond staggering. I mean, that's reality. So when the February report comes out for the whole month of February, and it was a shocking surprise to the good side on how few people filed first-time unemployment claims, I consider that nothing more than propaganda. You know, this report comes out, 30,000+ jobs lost in the month of February, and Wall Street rallies because it beats the so-called economists' projections by some 20,000. Well, what it doesn't say is that, you know, millions of people are no longer on the unemployment rolls. I mean, these people are just completely off. You know, they've stopped looking. They've run out of benefits. They're no longer unemployed. They're no longer drawing a check. So they're just completely off the rolls. And what proves that point better than anything is if you look at the long-term underemployed rate, and even by the Bureau of Labor Statistics' own calculations, it went from 16.5% to 16.8%. You know, a 0.3% increase in the underemployed rate. These are guys who are past their first unemployment stint, and they're on emergency or emergency unemployment benefits. You know, and with that rate last week had an increase. Last week, now mind you, this is on Thursday's report. It'll be attached to this video. That rate went up by a number of 200,000+ people to 5,680,000 people who are now on emergency unemployment benefits. So with some accounting trickery and with moving people from one column to another, they can claim that unemployment held steady at 9.7%. And sure enough, every headline you read today says the unemployment rate held at 9.7%. You know, and every economist that Bloomberg could interview or CNBC could interview is saying we're going to experience job growth throughout the remainder of this year. You know, and my answer to that is simple. Where are these jobs coming from? You know, construction shed 60,000+ jobs last month. You know, the service sector is shedding jobs. You know, it's showing that the factory jobs increased by 1,000. And I say, at what? At what factory? Is this Government Motors factory cranking up? Are we producing toilet seats to sell at Home Depot? I don't think so. You know, so no matter how they spin this, no matter how they try to convince the public that the economy is on the rebound, the simple fact of the matter is this. The instant that the government stops backing these too big to fail banks, the economy is over. $787 billion in stimulus money in 2009, and the best we can do is a U3 number of 9.7% unemployment. The instant that that money is pulled away from this economy, we don't have an economy. We can truly experience a crash that needed to happen in September of 2008. You know, if it would have happened then, how far along would we be now? We would have been on the road to recovery. We'd have had criminal bankers in prison, of which not one Wall Street bankster who has been bailed out has been brought up on charges, who is facing any serious time. You know, when Enron went down, people went to prison. When Wall Street goes down, they get more power. They get bailed out. They get to consolidate power. And now the too big to fails are even larger. The systemic risks are even more risk to the system. So, you know, when I read these reports that come out that say, hey, great news, 9.7% unemployment is maintained, 200,000+ people, you know, a good size American city, 200,000 people are now on the emergency unemployment rolls. And as we all have seen in the last week, all it takes is one senator to stand up and say, you're not funding emergency benefits for 1 month for $10 billion. And we see how susceptible the people who are on unemployment are to the will of the people in Washington. You know, they now are holding millions of people's livelihood in the palm of their hand. And the outcome is going to be a citizenry that is going to be subservient so they can keep getting their check. This system needs to come apart. It needs to collapse, and real free market capitalists need to step in and make a real economy, a non-72% consumer economy. Any rate, thanks everybody who had asked where I'd been for this week. Hopefully through the weekend and next week I can make some more videos, but for now that's all I got.